Hey guys, how's it going? LA here. And in this video I'm going to show you guys how to load Kali Linux onto a Raspberry Pi 3. Now if you're unfamiliar with Kali Linux is a distro of Linux. It's a vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, offensive, defensive security software suite of Kali Linux. It's pretty popular in the security community, and as you can see, Kali Linux has a version that's geared towards Raspberry Pi. So we're going to go through the process of actually installing Kali Linux for our Raspberry Pi. Now, in order to get started, what you'll need to do is you'll need to download a couple of things here. First off, we'll need to have an image of Kali Linux for Raspberry Pi 3. Now, you can get that image through Kali Linux download site. So if you go to kalilinux.com and you click on downloads and you scroll towards the middle of the page, you'll see that they have a section for download ARM images. So click on Kali ARM images and we'll see that scrolling down, there's an area here for Raspberry Pi. Now I went ahead and downloaded the Raspberry Pi 2/3 version 2017.3. So that's the first thing that you'll need in order to get started. The second thing that you'll need is an application to unzip that file that you downloaded. We're going to be using Unzip here. Unzip is a pretty popular file archiver for compressing and decompressing or what have you for file systems. Now, I downloaded the 64-bit version here. Go ahead and download the version that's appropriate with your operating system. We'll also need an application that allows us to create a bootable drive. Now, I went ahead and used the application here, Rufus, and you can get to Rufus by going to their website, rufus.akeo.ie, or you can simply just Google Rufus and it should be on the first page of your Google results. Now once you're on the page, if you scroll down, you'll see an area here to download Rufus. I downloaded the portable version. Now once you have Rufus, 7-zip, as well as the Kali image, we can go ahead and get started here. The first thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to decompress the Kali Linux image that you've downloaded. As you can see here, it's a .xz file. Now that is a compression format, and we're going to go ahead and use 7-zip to uncompress that. So what I did was right-clicked on the Kali Linux image. I went to 7-zip and I extracted it to the appropriate folder. Now, since I've already done that, it shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to extract that. And once it's complete, you'll see that it's located here. Alright, so once you have Rufus up and loaded, you'll be presented with this window that'll give you quite a few options here. What we want to do is, first off, we want to make sure that our SD card, our micro SD card is in and it's listed here. You want to make sure that if you do have any other attached devices, that those devices aren't picked up here, or that they are that you select the correct one. Here I have a few devices connected on my PC. However, the G drive, which is my micro SD card, is here. And I'm only emphasizing that because once you start the process for creating a bootable drive, everything on that SD card or USB is going to get wiped and erased. So it's very important that you make sure that this is the correct device. So, this is the correct device for me. As far as a partition scheme and target system type, you want to make sure that MBR partition scheme for BIOS or UEFI is selected. The file system is important. We want to use large FAT32. FAT32 is the file system that is recognized with the Raspberry Pi, so it wouldn't be compatible with NTFS since that's really a Windows thing, or UDF or exFAT. Cluster size, we want to leave that at default. Now, as far as the new volume label, I'm going to leave that the same, but if you wanted to, you can change that to whatever volume label you want it. The other options listed here, check device for bad blocks. This is going to check the device for any bad sections within the sectors of that device. Now, this takes a little while depending on how big your device is. I mean, if you have a few gigabytes, it could take a while. If you have a few terabytes, it could take a longer time. And also depending on the number of passes you select here. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that unchecked. Quick format is not going to be available for this file system type. We'll also want to make sure that create a bootable disk is checked. Now, we want to make sure that create a bootable disk is checked and that this is set to DD image. Now, with DD image selected, create bootable disk checked, and all our other settings checked, we want to go ahead and find that image that we extracted here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the little disk icon here and navigate to my image that I have here. So I'm going to click on open, and once you're ready to begin, go ahead and click on the start button. Now again, this is letting you know that all of the data will be wiped and destroyed, and once you click on continue, it should start the process for you. Again, this is another warning. Apparently I have multiple partitions set on my drive, so it's just letting me know that there are multiple partitions, and all of those partitions will be erased, and there will be one bootable partition for my Kali Linux for the Raspberry Pi. So after clicking start, it starts the process of writing the image to the micro SD card that I have in my computer. Alright, so the writing process is complete. I'm going to go ahead and close Rufus, and I'm going to go to my computer or this PC. So my drive should be located here, the G drive. I'm going to go ahead and properly eject that drive, and I'm going to remove it from my computer. Now that I have it removed, I'm going to go ahead and continue the process of putting this into the Raspberry Pi, and we're going to continue along with the video. Alright guys, I wanted to show you my quick setup here. I have the Raspberry Pi connected via Ethernet adapter on the back. I have the Samsung 64 gigabyte micro SD card. Again, it's Ethernet adapter connected to my Cisco switch, my 3560. I also have a Bluetooth adapter. The Bluetooth adapter is connected to a Bluetooth keyboard as well as a Bluetooth mouse. And on the side here is a HDMI cable that is connected to my monitor, and here is the power adapter. Alright guys, so I went ahead and plugged up my Raspberry Pi, and as you can see, Kali Linux is going through its initial configurations. Once that's complete, we should get a prompt that asks us for our username and password. Alright, so we're at the prompt for our username and password. Now, generally the username is going to be root, R-O-O-T, and the password is going to be Tor, T-O-O-R. So that's the same for both the standard operating system as well as the Raspberry Pi operating system. Alright, so as we log in for the first time, it's going to ask us how we want to display our panel. Typically I just use the default configurations for the panel. And there you have it. At this point, you can go into the Applications tab, and from here you can go into the various tools and applications that are in Kali Linux. Just keep in mind that not all of them are here on the Raspberry Pi version, but one of the first few things I like to do is open up the terminal emulator and do a update and upgrade. So I'm going to type in apt get update and let that run and finish. And once that's complete, I'm going to type apt get upgrade and let that run and complete. And from here on out, Kali Linux is updated to the latest version. And from here on out, you have Kali Linux running on the Raspberry Pi. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section.